Faith. It's a small word with immense power. It's a powerful thing, isn't it? It can move mountains and change lives. It's believing in something you can't see, holding on to a promise that seems intangible, trusting in something you can't touch, yet feeling its presence deeply within your soul. Faith gives us hope when times are dark, lighting our path when we can't see the way forward. It gives us strength when we feel weak, empowering us to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. The Bible is full of stories about faith, stories that have been passed down through generations. Stories about ordinary people who faced extraordinary challenges yet stood firm in their belief. People who found comfort and guidance in their belief in God, even when the world around them was in turmoil. One such story is about a woman named Hannah whose faith was unwavering. Hannah's story reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, faith can move mountains and change destinies. It teaches us that our prayers are heard even when they seem to go unanswered, and that persistence in faith can lead to miracles. Hannah's story is a testament to the power of faith and the boundless love of God, showing us that divine intervention is real. It's a story that continues to inspire and uplift people of all ages and backgrounds, transcending time and culture, reminding us that with faith all things are possible and that we are never alone in our journey. In the heart of ancient Israel, there lived a man named Elkanah. He had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Elkanah loved Hannah deeply, but their story wasn't a simple one. You see, Hannah couldn't have children. This broke her heart. In those days, having children was very important. It was seen as a sign of God's blessing. Peninnah, Elkanah's other wife, had several children. She often made Hannah feel bad about not being able to have any. Hannah endured this cruelty with grace and quiet dignity. She never lost sight of her faith in God. She believed that one day He would answer her prayers. Hannah's story is a reminder that life isn't always fair. We all face challenges and hardships, but it's how we respond to these challenges that truly defines us. Year after year, Hannah endured the pain of infertility and the sting of Peninnah's taunts. She felt incomplete, longing for a child to fill the emptiness in her heart. The inability to conceive weighed heavily on her soul. She often retreated to quiet corners, seeking solace in prayer. Hannah poured her heart out to God, her voice thick with unshed tears. She begged Him to bless her with a child, promising to dedicate her offspring to His service. Her faith never wavered, even when surrounded by doubt and despair. Hannah's story resonates with anyone who has ever felt the sting of longing, the ache of unfulfilled desires. Her pain is palpable, her yearning for a child, a universal language that transcends time and culture. One year, during a pilgrimage to the temple at Shiloh, Hannah's grief reached its peak. She had been carrying the weight of her sorrow for many years, and this particular journey seemed to amplify her pain. The temple at Shiloh was a place of worship and sacrifice, but for Hannah it had become a place of deep emotional turmoil. As Elkanah and his family offered sacrifices, Hannah slipped away to the tabernacle. She moved quietly, her heart pounding with a mix of desperation and hope. She knew that this might be her only chance to speak directly to God, away from the prying eyes of others. There, in the presence of God, she poured out her soul in prayer. Her knees hit the cold floor, and she clasped her hands tightly as if holding on to her last shred of hope. The sacred setting of the tabernacle seemed to amplify her emotions, making her plea even more intense. Her words were filled with anguish, but also with unwavering faith. Tears streamed down her face as she spoke, each one a testament to the years of silent suffering she had endured. Yet, amidst the sorrow, there was a glimmer of hope, a belief that God would hear her. She made a solemn vow to God. Her voice, though choked with emotion, was steady and resolute. She promised that if God granted her a son, she would dedicate his life to the Lord's service. "O Lord Almighty," she cried, "if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life." Her plea was not just for herself, but for a chance to serve God through her child. Hannah's prayer was not a casual request. It was a heartfelt plea born out of years of silent suffering. Each word she uttered was laden with the weight of her unspoken pain and her deep longing for a child. It was a testament to her unwavering faith and her deep desire to serve God, even in the face of personal adversity. Her determination and resolve shone through her prayer, making it clear that her faith was unshakable, no matter the outcome. As Hannah prayed, her lips moved silently, her entire being consumed by her fervent plea. Eli, the high priest, observed her from a distance. He saw her distress, but mistook her silent prayer for drunkenness.
How long will you keep on getting drunk? Get rid of your wine.
Hannah, startled but undeterred, turned to Eli with quiet dignity.
I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord.
This encounter highlights the importance of empathy and understanding. Eli, though a man of God, quickly judged Hannah based on appearances. Hannah's response, however, was a lesson in grace and composure. Eli, realizing his mistake, blessed Hannah.
Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him.
Hannah, her heart lighter than it had been in years, returned to her family. True to God's word, Hannah conceived. The arrival of her son was nothing short of a miracle. She named him Samuel, which means God has heard. Samuel's birth was a testament to God's faithfulness, a beacon of hope not just for Hannah, but for all who dared to believe. Samuel's birth marked a turning point in Hannah's life. It was a tangible reminder of God's faithfulness, a testament to the power of prayer and the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise. Section 7, a promise kept.
I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. My heart was filled with hope and longing, and in his mercy, he answered my prayers. So now I give him to the Lord. This child, whom I have loved and cherished, I now dedicate to his service. For as long as he lives, he is dedicated to the Lord. His life will be a testament to our faith and devotion.
Hannah cherished every moment with her precious son. Each day was a gift, filled with laughter, love, and the joy of watching him grow. She showered him with love and nurtured his growing spirit. She taught him the ways of their faith, instilling in him the values and beliefs that would guide him throughout his life. But she never forgot the vow she made to God. Her promise was always at the forefront of her mind, a constant reminder of her faith and commitment. As difficult as it was, she knew she had to keep her promise. The bond between mother and child was strong, but her faith was stronger. When Samuel was weaned, Hannah took him to Shiloh to present him to Eli at the temple. The journey was long and filled with mixed emotions, but Hannah's resolve never wavered. Hannah's act of dedication was an act of profound faith and obedience. She knew that this was her calling, and she embraced it with an open heart. It was a testament to her unwavering belief in God's plan and her willingness to trust him completely, even when it meant sacrificing her own desires. Her story is a powerful reminder of the strength of faith and the beauty of keeping one's promises. Section 8, Samuel's destiny. Samuel grew up in the temple, serving under Eli's guidance. He learned the ways of God and developed a close relationship with him. God had a special plan for Samuel's life. He was destined to become a great prophet, a leader who would guide the Israelites and speak God's word to them. Hannah's sacrifice, though painful, paved the way for Samuel's extraordinary destiny. Her willingness to surrender her son to God's service allowed him to step into the fullness of his calling. Samuel's story reminds us that God often uses ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. It highlights the importance of obedience, mentorship, and the ripple effect that one person's faith can have on generations to come. Section 9, a legacy of faith. Hannah's story is a powerful reminder that faith is not just about believing, it's about trusting God's plan even when we don't understand it. It's about surrendering our desires to His will and finding peace in His promises. Hannah's legacy extends far beyond her role as Samuel's mother. She is remembered for her unwavering faith, her resilience in the face of adversity, and her unwavering devotion to God. Her story continues to inspire us to hold on to hope, to persevere in prayer, and to trust that God hears our cries even in our darkest moments. Hannah's story is a timeless testament to the power of faith to overcome adversity. It reminds us that God sees our pain, hears our prayers, and is faithful to fulfill His promises in His perfect timing. Section 10, Finding Hope in Hannah's Story. Hannah's story is a source of hope and encouragement for all who face challenges. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. God sees our pain, hears our cries, and is always with us, offering comfort and strength. Like Hannah, we can find solace in prayer, pouring out our hearts to God and trusting in His perfect timing. Her story teaches us that even in the midst of despair, hope can bloom. Even when surrounded by darkness, faith can light our way. Hannah's story is a timeless reminder that with God all things are possible. Her legacy of faith continues to inspire us to trust in His goodness, to persevere in prayer, and to believe that even in the darkest of times, a brighter dawn awaits.